If you guys have been following along the Edition 507 C63 AMG engine build and supercharger install, then this is the video for you. In this episode, we wrap up a ton of work on this car and then hopefully drive it to the dyno for tuning. There's a lot of unknowns, many things can go wrong.
What in the world? We got sparks coming out of the tailpipe.
But I'm hopeful. It's about midnight right now, and tomorrow is the dyno day, so yeah, I'm sure everything will be okay.
Yeah, we need to start buttoning up the engine cooling system. These are so satisfying to install. There we go.
Originally, we thought we were gonna run the pump for the intercooler system on this side, but there is no room, so I have to flip this around. And we can lift this out of the way. Let's get this off too. Okay. Now I can remove our heat exchanger, and it's pretty good size actually. And we're just going to flip it this way and put it right back in.
So this is really neat. This is a Mercedes-Benz parts bin coolant reservoir. So there is a bracket right here that's not used on the C-Class, so we repurposed it to hold the catch can. I think that's pretty clean, and the hoses are ran. And Craig made us a new overflow hose that clicks in just like factory. Since we have the cooling system buttoned up, we can fill our engine and radiator and everything else.
I seriously can't even think right now, guys. It is 12:30 at night. We've been at this since like 8 a.m. We're filling coolant. That's what we're doing. Drink up, buddy, drink up. All right, guys, it's the next morning. Rusty and I worked till 1 a.m. and then our brains kind of broke down. I knew I had to stop when I messed up the brackets for the intercooler.
I'm too tired for this.
Craig had an energy drink at midnight and went crazy till about 2:30 in the morning.
And he didn't want to stop knowing that all of our brains are going to be mush the next morning, so he finished that up. It is absolutely beautiful. This is our fuel pressure regulator, and I have to build a bracket to mount it.
So hopefully those guys will be here soon, but we have about 5 hours till our dyno appointment. This car still doesn't run, so I need to get on mounting the heat exchanger, the coolant pump, and the fuel pressure regulator. No pressure at all. All right, guys, let's try and figure out how to mount our VRP Superflow coolant pump. I think this is gonna live right around this area, and this fitting here needs to feed the bottom of the heat exchanger, and this one needs to go up to the engine compartment. I just went and cut up some hoses and got some fittings. I'm gonna try something out here. We'll get this guy on with a 90, and I've installed a T that we're gonna screw on here. I think we can install this pump right here, still have good access to the electrical connector, and then this 90 shoots right into the bottom of the heat exchanger. I'll have to poke a hole in this plastic, and this T is pointing straight up where it needs to go. I think that'll work. I've made a mark where we're gonna drill. All right, center punch. I moved an oil cooler line out of the way so we can drill straight on. With the hole drilled out, I'm gonna install an M6 nutsert. This is our nutsert tool, so when I squeeze these handles, it's gonna compress the nutsert, so it's a permanent fixture on the C63. So we go in like this and squeeze. Then you can screw this out. And here's what it looks like up close, and now we've successfully added threads to mount the coolant pump. I found a nice stainless steel bolt that we can use as well. Now we can install our pump. Just gonna fit in like that. All right, intercooler pump is installed, and we have to run a harness right there. That fits nicely. I have the heat exchanger mocked up where I want it, but let's make some brackets, permanently mount this, that way we can start running hoses. For the heat exchanger, we have some aluminum flat stock to turn into a couple of brackets. We're gonna make a bend right here, and then over to the fabrication department she goes. And I just bought this new hydraulic metal bender. It's really nice. So we just use the bender to make our 90, like that. I'll leave a link down below for these guys. They even come with a smashed fingernail. We're gonna take a measurement here. 3 plus 3.5 equals 6.5. One more measurement, right at 2.5. One more bend. Oh, we're gonna need the double press on this one. There we go. Here's our custom Z bracket. Fits right in, like that. I just drilled a hole for the bottom mount, so it is nutsert time. There we go. Now this is gonna fit in like so. I'm gonna put a fastener here on the top and one on the bottom. And we'll tighten up the bottom.
And here is my custom bracket for the heat exchanger. Not bad for about a 30-minute job. I'll have to duplicate this on the other side. I do want to find some fancy hardware like this for up top. And if I can get a 1.5-inch wide piece of aluminum flat stock, I can make a new bracket that covers this entire pad. I think that would look pretty cool. And you honestly won't see much of this once the grill is back on anyway, but very functional. This thing is rock solid. Here's the finished product on the heat exchanger brackets with the Distronic sensor and the hood striker installed. And we are back at full strength. Rusty is working on the flex fuel system. Craig is working on fittings and hoses and the fuel system as well. And I have to mount this power steering reservoir. This is actually from an 06 330i or a bunch of other BMWs. And we're using two of these. One's gonna be over here for the coolant and one's gonna be for the power steering. And I like it right in this area, somewhere like that. Hang on, before we get to that, I have to show you guys an amazing limited time deal from Avalon King on their brand new lineup. Right now, if you buy their Psycho or graphene-based Psycho Pro detail spray, you get one of their other new products for free. Just click the link down below for the deal. So before you use either spray, just simply wash your car with the Mega Foam Shampoo. This works great in a foam cannon. And then you can apply this wet or dry and spray it directly to the car and on a clean microfiber. You wipe it on, flip the towel over, and wipe it off. You can do an entire car in about 15 minutes. Both the sprays are ultra hydrophobic, so water and dirt bead right off, and you can use this on cars that have been ceramic coated or not. And from there, you can maintain your car with the Shockwave soap. And I love their tire dressing. I like to put a little bit on an applicator and check out the shine. And the Psycho detail spray gives you about 6 months of protection, where the Psycho Pro gives you 9 months of protection. And I gotta say, all of these smell so good. So click on the link down below, limited time sale. Get one of these for free. You know what time it is. That should do it. Oh yeah, here we go. You know, I gotta go with the old cert. Cert 2. Oh yeah. Now these two should line up if my measurements are even remotely close. Hey, look at that. And I have some nice stainless hardware. Power steering reservoir is installed. The VRP bracket is looking pretty sweet, and it is rock solid. Right now I'm running the power steering hose, and I'm gonna cut it right here. These things are amazing. Just don't, don't do that. Check this out. I had to drill a hole in this piece of plastic, but I left the AMG part of the sticker. Now we can feed in our coolant hose. Definitely a tight fit, but that's what we want. There we go. That's connected. And the other side comes out here. This hose to the pump is connected to our 90. Now we get one chance at cutting this to the right length. And I do that with one eyeball. It's, the one eyeball measurement trick. How did I do? How did I do, guys? Oh, money. This part of the heat exchanger and intercooler system is done. Now we gotta get to this one. We're using a lot of these factory style hose clamps, so the power steering reservoir is now done. We'll fit in here nice and snug. So that's all done. The catch can is routed properly. That is connected. I've used factory clamps here as well, looking pretty away from everything. Craig is filling us up with our break-in engine oil. We're gonna run this probably till it warms up, operating temperature, and then drain it out and do an oil change. You guys wanna see something cool? I just took out all the screws on the bottom plate of the intake manifold, and here lie the two throttle bodies that normally feed our naturally aspirated M156 engine. These look really clean, and I looked in the service history, and these had a big issue with these plates leaking, and this was replaced a few years back to fix that problem. So we have newer throttle bodies. They look perfect. Now we can go around and remove them. This is really, really cool. Do you see these two bolts hiding under these covers? The reason they do that is these are the only two bolts that, if they backed out, would get sucked into the engine. So if you look at the back side of this, every other bolt hovers over these bosses inside, so they could never actually get sucked into the engine, but not these. I feel like that's like a Doug DeMuro quirk and feature of the internal workings of this engine. So you have to bend these out of the way in order to remove them. They're getting sucked in. There we go. Okay. So this plate comes off first. These velocity stacks are coming off. Can we just talk about how large these throttle bodies are for a naturally aspirated engine?
These are each 76 millimeters, and did you guys know that the M159, which is a derivative of the 156, that's the engine in the SLS Black Series, it was the highest horsepower naturally aspirated V8 engine in the world forever. I think the car that beat it out was the new Z06.
Get out. Okay. That's one. And there's two. All right, excellent. This is really cool. These have active intake runners, so these will open and close depending on RPM for the optimal flow. We have one throttle body installed with a 3D printed mass airflow sensor adapter. Here's our flex fuel sensor on the return side. We've got all of our injectors wired up for the flex fuel, and this is a little temperature probe that's gonna tell the flex fuel module what the temperature is, so it knows how to do a proper cold start.
And everything's generally coming together. In a little bit, we're gonna start cranking this engine over to start building oil pressure. Craig just finished up the fuel pressure regulator. We have a gauge on it and a vacuum port.
And I made a couple of brackets for that, and I'm gonna spray them black. Brackets are drying
In my professional paint booth,
and this is shaking the can, so it's ready to go for our next coat.
it's all about efficiency.
All right, power steering fluid time. We're gonna fill this up, and our intercooler system. Oil's in there. We're doing it, people. We're doing it. Coolant going in, and we're using the same blue Mercedes-Benz style coolant.
Craig's putting power to our Superflow pump.
You can hear it starting to work. All right, we got some serious air going on here, so I have to give this mouth-to-mouth resuscitation.
Now that's what I call a Superflow.
Yeah. Yeah. Just need to pressurize this tank. I mean, how else can we do it quickly? All right. Don't die on me, please, please. Yeah. Working. Oh, this just went way down. Just got a big bubble after some mouth-to-mouth. Beautiful. Ah! That's one way to do it. There we go. We're cracking one of the lines too.
All right, the coolant is bled out. We don't have any of the fuel system connected, so it's not gonna fire, but we are going to crank the engine for the first time to start getting the oil moving around. Okay, engine fans are on. Woo. It's cranking. I hear a little ticking. All right, that's good, Rusty. You hear that ticking, tapping, whatever?
Yeah.
Huh. I heard a little ticking noise going on there. We cleared out all the trouble codes, so now the engine's fan shouldn't come on and we can listen to this noise. Okay. That definitely sounds like lifter noise. When you do brand new lifters and new cams and new everything, you can get that, especially at first start. So I'm gonna chalk it up to that and we will continue on.
We're gonna test out the fuel pumps for the first time. All right, no leaks. Sounds good. Oh yeah. We're good, getting right up to 40 and no leaks anywhere. We have the flex fuel sensor mounted right here and that's looking good.
And we're getting close, we're getting close. We have fuel, we have coolant, we bled the power steering out, we got air, oil, we got hopes and prayers. We totally didn't make it to the dyno, but my friends at Cannonball Garage are amazing and they're opening it up for us tomorrow at noon. So we have to work through the night and make sure this car is ready to go. And right now I am installing the rest of our VRP exhaust. And I've done a few of these. It is a bolt-on affair, very nice pieces. And now I can get this piece in. I mean, look at how nice this is. It is beefy. Okay, Rusty, I think you can start to let go. He's pulling the rest of the exhaust back, so we have room to slide this together. The headers and the exhaust is complete and connected to the factory rear Mercedes-Benz resonator and the factory C63 mufflers. This thing is gonna sound so good, and it shouldn't have any drone either because we're leaving the resonator. With the exhaust buttoned up, we are gonna do a transmission service while we're in there. We drained the fluid a few videos ago. I can't even keep track of time anymore, guys. It's just like been one long day for me filming all these videos. Oh, come on now. Okay, I did drain it, I swear. There's always so much in there. God, I started wearing this smartwatch and I'm destroying it at this point. Yeah. Yeah. Can't keep anything nice. I'll pop the old filter out. New Mercedes-Benz filter going in. I cleaned out the trans pan. It looked really nice. And I'll have a brand new gasket going in and a brand new fill tube. That's a satisfying click right there. Trans pan going in. And the bolts for these are one-time use, so we have new ones. Super low torque spec, so don't go nuts with the gun. 8 Newton meters, people. Not a lot. You will absolutely snap these if you don't follow this. All right, guys, I messed up. I thought I had the special tool to fill this transmission, but I don't. And I literally had to look back at an old video of mine from like 3 years ago to see how I did this. And this is how I did it. I just squeezed it in the bottom. So normally there's a tool that threads in and then you could use shop air and just kind of push the fluid in. It's much easier, but desperate times call for desperate transmission measures. This actually works pretty good. Actually, I did this on purpose to show you guys what to do if you don't have the tool and if you don't want to spend the money on the tool. You just have to spend about a half hour filling the fluid. It's not bad. It's not bad. You don't have to do this that often, jeez. We're done filling this for now. We'll have to check the fluid once it's running. Well, ladies and gentlemen, after many days and countless hours, we're ready for the first start. How do you feel?
I feel great. There's going to be a little bit of lifter noise from Black Series lifters and the startup fluid, and then we'll change the oil and she'll purr like a kitten.
Rusty, how you feeling?
I don't want to talk about it.
Okay. Rusty's tired. All right, guys, without further ado, first start. Here we go.
Well, let me hit the breaker.
Oh.
Yeah, because he had
no fuel?
key on.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. He had to turn the breaker on for the fuel. I mean, we don't have to do that every time. Now it's just on and we're good. Anyway, Rusty, whenever you're ready. Wow. That is loud. Oh, wow, it sounds great though. We don't even have lifter noise this time.
I heard it for a split second.
Wow.
And then it went away.
When we fired up the giveaway C63, it had a lot of ticking. It went away after it warmed up and we changed the oil, but this thing is mint. Oh my gosh. Belt is looking good. Let's see, fuel pressure is about 58 PSI. Is that a pretty good base?
Yeah, but it's in vacuum right now, so it's pulling back.
Right.
And then when boosted, it'll go forward. Yeah, this is a base tune with VRP cams, and that is a beautiful idle. That is a beautiful idle.
Oh yeah, I forgot. We have aftermarket cams in this as well. Wow, what a bass tune. Just fired right up. Oh, it sounds so good. Yes! Yes!
We did it! We did it!
Yeah! This is awesome. Oh man, it's like a low emissions vehicle too. There's not even any smoke really out of the tailpipe. Oh my gosh, guys. This is so exciting. You don't know how many hours and sleepless nights. I mean, you kind of do know if you've been watching the series. It's 5 of those in a row. Oh man, this is awesome. Flex fuel is working. 1% duty cycle, 10% ethanol. We'll definitely be getting some E85 tomorrow before the dyno. And we're gonna try and put a ton of miles on the car as well to get that fuel cycling, but also to check everything. But good Lord, look at this. Look at this gigantic supercharger crammed into the C63 engine compartment. We still have to do air filters. I think we're just gonna drive it to the store and pick out some that fit. And yeah, we're gonna continue to check things over and do an oil change, but Alex is happy. Alex is happy. We checked everything over and all is good. We're gonna start it up again, let it get up to operating temperature, and we have to set the transmission. And you guys gotta hear this from the back. Woo! Oh my gosh. That cold start is wild. Oh man. Listen to that. I think it sounds a little bit different with the cams. They're not super aggressive compared to stock, but I don't know. Let me know what you think. Check it out, we hooked up an old boost gauge so we can monitor on the dyno. And when I say old, I think I've had this for like, I don't know, 25 years or before I had anything boosted. Oh, and this is right off of the C4 Corvette. It broke off the fuel rail last year. So this is a 90s fuel pressure gauge and it fits right in. All right, checking for leaks. When you go to long tube headers, sometimes it can sound like you have an exhaust leak, but they're very thin walled compared to the factory exhaust manifolds. They just have a different kind of sound to them. But yeah, our exhaust is good so far. Yeah, nothing, we're good. All right, we got up to operating temperature, pulled the oil filter. It looks pretty good.
and we're gonna replace it. Out with the old, in with the new. And we're gonna lift it up and drain the oil now. What do we got? What do we got? What do we got? Oh, I made it. I made it. Ow, it's hot. I always miss and get oil all over the floor, but not this time. Engine oil looks pretty normal. We had engine assembly lube in there, and the cams are coated as well, so that kind of wears off, but so far so good. Now that the engine oil is flushed out, we can go in with the good stuff. Our 5W40 European spec that I just spilled on the valve cover from AMSOIL, my favorite engine oil. Drink up, M156. I have a long day tomorrow. Craig and Rusty swear by this Ceratec from Liqui Moly. It's an anti-friction agent, and it kind of looks like baby diarrhea a little bit, but I'm all about low friction, so we'll give it a try. This is my first time starting it up. Woo! I gotta reset that maintenance indicator. Craig went to the store to get us some air filters. I have the AC machine pulling the system into a vacuum so we can recharge it, and it's bumper time. It's gonna look like a car again. I'm a real car. All right, it's easy. Mercedes grille going back on. Like I said, I love the black and the white on this car and the cool Designo or Designo interior. There we go. It's looking good, looking good. Hey, our vacuum's done. We have air filters. Oh, and we got the wheels on too. Oh, this is gonna look good. Air filters are done, and I know it's inevitable. People are gonna say that this is wrong and it's a hot air intake. I get it, I get it, I get it. Craig, you have the exact same intake, and how much horsepower do you make?
Last time I dynoed, I made 765.
I'm good with that. All right, we have our engine plaque to install, and this is going to be temporary. Craig and Rusty made this for me, except they didn't put their names on it too, so they're gonna remake one with all of our signatures since they were just as much of a part of this project as I was, but it looks kind of bare with nothing there. So anyway, very cool. Thank you, Craig.
I love it. I love the logo on there.
We're ready to go for our first drive.
I'm excited, also hungry.
Yeah, it's like 10 o'clock at night. We're all starving, and we're taking the C63. We got to put some test miles on it, find some E85 tomorrow, and we're going to try and drive it like, I don't know, 100 miles before the dyno. Did my headlight just go out? Totally just went out, didn't it? Driving it. It's midnight.
All right, guys, it's actually the next evening. We have been battling rain for the last 24 hours. So we drove it around a little bit last night. It was like 1 o'clock in the morning. We just put a few miles on. It was really dark to film, but we're at the gas station right by Cannonball because they have E85. Look at this. It's only $2.50 a gallon. Craig's filling up with E85 as well. Look at our twin cars, the bigger than kind of faster brother. Actually, I don't know, Craig. Which one do you think is faster? Mine's way lighter. I know you're pulling a lot of power though. I got a little bit smaller pulley, so I'm making 2 more pounds of boost than you. But with your short wheelbase, 600 pounds lighter, I think you got me. We're gonna see how much power it makes in a few minutes. Here's Craig's engine bay. Looks very, very similar to mine. He's going all race. There's just turbo guards in here. No actual air filters.
Just hit 85,000 miles. Woo! And I need a new key battery. I cannot believe we're here. Cannonball Garage, people. Stand strapping the car down, and I'm just taking a look under the hood, make sure everything's good. Our belt is in good shape. It doesn't look like we have any pulley alignment issues or anything like that. No smoke, no weird stuff. Coolant's still good. I always get so nervous, especially on a new build that we put like, 40 or 50 miles at the most on this, and it's on the dyno like the day after we finish it. We have to put this in dyno test mode, but first, let me reset my maintenance indicator. It was saying I'm 50 days past due. I did carry out a service and rebuild half the engine. Yes, confirm. All right, that's good. Now we can go to dyno test. Press OK to change. Dyno test enabled. All right. The 85 gas station is only about a mile away, but I was pretty low. We're already at 54% ethanol. Craig's behind the wheel, working the dyno. It's so loud at first start, but then it's normal and tame at idle and cruising. It's perfect. Craig's gonna be using HP tuners to log each run, and then he can send the log to our remote tuner. You can see AFR is right here, 14.5. That's perfect at idle. Oh, and I don't think I mentioned this in previous videos, but Craig bench tuned the engine computer. So he took it out, hooked up a tool, and was able to upload the base file, and now it's unlocked, so to speak, so he can tune it remotely without having to take it all the way out. This car is just rear wheel drive only, but it's an all wheel drive dyno, so you'll see a little of that. And right now he's just bringing it up to about 4,000 RPM. That's just to calibrate the dyno. And for us to listen to this glorious V8. This thing is violent, oh my gosh. Are you ready for run number 1?
I'm ready. I'm ready.
We have our 1989 boost gauge on the windshield.
I'm freaking out right now, and my ears are about to bleed. Yeah, this is loud.
There's no way. Trust me. This does not make 800 wheel. Did you see that?
I did.
806.
From back here, it makes 900 wheel.
Guys, we're expecting like a maximum of 700 wheel, like after a bunch of tuning and revisions and stuff. That's, I don't believe it. 712 foot-pounds of torque. This looks like a normal grab. Craig, there's no way.
That's what I thought my car would make with these cams and the boost. You hit 10 pounds of boost with the 85. The tuner, yeah.
This is an 800 wheel horsepower car?
I made 740 horsepower without the cams on a Mustang dyno. I knew on a dyno jet with cams.
You guys were on a Mustang dyno. Oh my gosh, guys, I'm like shaking. That was our first run. 806 wheel horsepower on like E54, like something like that. I gotta check the ethanol content. This is nuts. I'm seriously shaking and blown away. I still kind of don't believe it. All right, guys, this has me concerned. You guys probably saw it, but what in the world? We got sparks coming out of the tailpipe. That's on D-cell. That's weird. I mean, I know cars can shoot flames and stuff on D-cell, especially on E85, but I've never seen sparks. Greg, what do you think about these sparks, dude? Have you ever seen that before?
I've never had a resonator on a car that makes this much power.
But a resonator, I mean, that's not going to cause sparks.
If there's something inside of it, you get caps on it before, so you don't know what could be inside there.
You guys ever seen sparks on D-cell? I don't know, man. That really scares me. All right, guys, we're thinking that either inside of the resonator or the muffler, there might be some material. It could be some old, I don't know, guys, but the car is running beautifully. AFR, everything was spot on. There's no issues at all except for the sparks, but I've personally never seen that. I don't know. We're gonna do another run. All right, Craig, run number 2. You ready?
Yeah.
Intake air is what, like 95?
95.
All right, that's not bad. All right, what I really love about this supercharger system is intake air temp is always really in control, and we only have one heat exchanger, no big tank, nothing. hours, 10 minutes later, 795 wheel. Wow, guys, this is for real. Like, this thing is calibrated. 800 wheel. Did we get sparks? No sparks?
That was good.
No sparks. We blew the sparks out. It just needed an Italian tune-up. That's it. No sparks, Dan. No sparks. All right, everybody's chalking up the sparks to the exhaust system. We have half of it is brand new, the headers and the mid-pipe, and the other half has 85,000 miles of kind of like putzing around. This car wasn't beat on much. And the way we know this is because the engine mounts were 8 years old. And AMG engine mounts don't last 8 years unless you're babying the car. Were you able to get a log in there?
Yeah.
Oh, sweet.
You're gonna need bigger injectors.
Really?
Yeah.
What are we at?
1270s.
Oh, wow.
So for perfect air to fuel, you'd have to run the E40 instead of the E50% we're at now.
Okay.
To go more E, we're gonna need the E50s like what I have.
Okay. I had gotten some 870s, but they didn't work. They weren't the right injectors, so we had to put some 750s in that Craig brought. And we maxed them out, and we're still only at 53% ethanol. That's the most we're gonna get out of it. And I need bigger injectors already. It's a good problem to have.
Fuel pressure was perfect, 68 PSI. So
And who
it
built
went
the
up.
fuel system on this thing?
Man, this really amazing guy. I know him. He's from Modern Masters. Dude, good job. 800 horsepower. 800 horsepower, man.
I can't believe it. Seriously, this is the most shocked I've ever been going to the dyno, and we've just gotten 2 pulls in. All right, guys, we're gonna call it at 2 pulls because the AFR is getting a little bit lean. Nothing dangerous yet, but there's really no sense in going further because we are running out of injector. I need to upgrade those, and then I'm pretty confident after seeing this that we can hit like 850 wheel, something like that, maybe even more. And remember, because this is a performance pack car, it has the fully forged rotating assembly, so forged pistons and everything. It's like having a built motor right out of the factory, and then we did the head studs and the camshafts and the Black Series lifters and everything. So it essentially has like a built motor. This is, I love this car. Also, you don't need to have an Edition 507 to have that performance pack. So there are performance pack C63s rolling around in the low $20,000 range. That's crazy. Think of the amount of car you get for that money. God, that sounds good. You know we gotta do it, guys. We're getting Craig's E63 on this dyno. We'll see what it makes back to back against mine. Winner buys dinner. Again.
Oh, man.
Yes.
Your car's... Did you set such a high standard?
I'm buying dinner no matter what.
Oh, yeah, you set such a high standard.
We're so happy. God, that's loud. The exhaust is like blowing me away. 787 wheel horsepower. Yeah! That's awesome. Craig's going for run number 2. We're having the best time here, guys. We're on no sleep. It's been 6 days in a row. This is what it's all about then. Yeah. All right, turn it off. Turn your key off too. We got it. It's in the fan. Darn. Oh wait, a pulley broke. There's a pulley right there. Come on. Get it. Got it.
It didn't like 800 horsepower.
It did not. No.
I'm not buying dinner though.
Now I definitely got dinner. Sorry, Craig. That stinks, man. That really stinks, but also on a dyno, when something breaks off, if you can limp your car back and it hasn't blown up, that's a good day. It's just a pulley at the end of the day, and he'll fix it. It'll be back. Craig, what did you name your car?
What's that?
What's
This is the Great White Buffalo.
Great White Buffalo will be back to live another day with a ton more power. I'm sure you'll find an excuse to do something. There's the fans. Wow. Wow, it's quiet now.
I know you did something. You knew I was gonna make more power the
Never.
second time.
No.
I knew it!
Craig and Rusty did trailer the E63 here from their shop in West Virginia. He brought the car because he's an amazing person and wanted to make sure my car got done. And he said, just in case we needed something, we could use this as a parts car. That's a real friend right there, guys. Let me tell you.
You deserve it, man. This is awesome. Beyond a good time. Beyond a good time. I'm extremely tired though. You guys put me to work this week.
We're all tired. It's December in Chicago. We got to do an easier project like in the summer and then just have fun for a few days too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Extremely. Jet skis.
We're going out now though. We're celebrating.
We went out to celebrate. I got a 12-ounce ribeye Brussels sprouts. It's got a cheese. Stan got a gigantic brisket. All right. And what do we got, Rusty?
Some kind of tenderloin steak here.
Tenderloin steak, and then Craig got the exact same thing. We're celebrating.
All right, guys, we are done. It has been a very, very long 6 days, but a very fun 6 days. We went through a lot together, but this car has just exceeded all expectations.
I'm not even tired anymore. that was more than worth it.
I am tired.
He's very tired. We're on an average of probably 3 or 4 hours of sleep every single night, but we took this C63 from a completely stock car that made probably about 450 wheel horsepower all the way to what it is right now, a 3,700 pound car with an MCT transmission, a factory forged engine, and 800 wheel horsepower, and we're not done.
How much was that again?
806. 806.
806.
Yeah. Craig's gonna come back in one of these days. We're gonna do some more modifications to the fuel system, maybe the cooling system, get it back on the dyno, see what its kind of maxed out power will be. And then we still haven't even experienced the car because it's raining and like 20 degrees outside.
It's base tuned. So there's so much more potential. Power left on the table.
That's right.
Fueling still available.
Thank you guys so much for watching this video series. I really appreciate you guys tuning in to all of these videos and this build. It's been an absolute blast and there is more to come. So with that, if you enjoyed the C63 Supercharger engine build series, give this video a big thumbs up, share the video with your friends, subscribe if you haven't already, check out Modern Masters if you guys need anything done to your AMG car, normal repair and maintenance and craziness. I'll leave all their link down below. Most importantly, have a fantastic day. I'll see all of you in the next video. If you guys have been watching if you guys have been following along the addition, that's gonna require me to remove this section here of the, that's gonna require me to move that. That's gonna require me to, oh, look what I just did to the screen. No. I just, well guys, it's about 5 o'clock. Well guys, it's 5 o'clock on Friday. Headers and exhaust is complete, are complete. Headers and exhaust are complete. I think that makes more sense. I don't know. It's late, people. Oh my gosh, doing a little dance with the bumper here.